The destiny
everyone.
of both begin to speak of.
Amen. The name
I
of Jesus.
pray that power that want to shift
welcome.
him or shift you out of away from the original plan of God. Let that power be disgraced.
Amen. The name of
Let
Jesus.
that power be disgraced.
Amen. The name of
I frustrate all their effort.
Amen. The name of
There is battle in the realm of the spirit, because they knew if both of you come back in unity, in strong ankle, you people will go far. And I pray that this law will continue growing from grace to grace.
Amen.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
Blessing will continue growing from grace to grace.
Amen.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
I pray that sound health will decorate your home.
Amen. The name of
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
The enemy wants come and steal money out from devourer enter through sickness. Today, you will look for sickness, you will not see.
Amen.
I prophesy upon your life and the life of your children. God Almighty will preserve them. God Almighty will preserve them. Just a little things they get well. As I decree, so shall it be. Let the I see the angel, the Spirit of God is here. Let the Spirit of God reside here. Continue with you in this place. May He preserve you. May He safeguard you. As you give me food, food will not lack in your home.
Amen. The name of
As you stand that I will smell good, your life will smell
Amen.
good.
The name of Jesus.
Favor will smell around you.
Amen. The name of Jesus.
Blessing will smell around
Amen. The
you.
name of Jesus.
As I decree, so shall it be.
Amen.
You will not be in want. If you call for 1, 10 will answer.
Amen.
If you call for 10, 100 will answer. As I prophesy, so shall it be. With the apostolic gift upon my life, I speak it upon your heart. So shall it be. Peace I drop for you.
Good to see
Celebration
you.
I live for you. As I decree, so shall it be. In Jesus' glorious name it is done. Amen. 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 Settled.
Hi everyone. Welcome to today's Girlversation. Good to see you, Josephine. Good to sorry, someone. No. I'm on a live call.
Hello. Okay,
Welcome
please.
to Girlversations by W.O.N.D.I.V.A. Hope you're having a great weekend. I'll call you. Thank you, sir. Today we are discussing a very crucial topic: emotional intelligence, and we would narrow it down to the workplace. So emotional intelligence at the workplace. I am not supposed to be alone on this life. Oh yes, your mommy. A children have been all over me. That's it. Should I come and join them? Me too. I'm looking for who I want to be all over. So sorry, sis. So sorry. Oh, virtual hugs. Virtual hugs to you. So sorry. I declare healing in the name of Jesus. So I should not come. Oh my God. I'm not supposed to be alone on this Instagram live. I hope that my co-hosts will not desert me. So we are still expecting them. But today we hope to have a very interesting conversation. Emotional intelligence and emotional intelligence in the workplace. Has anyone ever been in a situation where they want to communicate about something, but they don't know how to? I mean, you want to explain something, but you don't know the right words to say, or you don't know how to act. By 6 or 5. Okay. So we don't know the right things to say. Hi Shewa, good to see you. One of my guests is here, thank God though, so I'm not going to be lonely. Shall have you sent me requests? Yay, Shewa is here. Hi, Shewa.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. It's you and I again. You and I again. I should
That's
come and visit
you.
you in your school. Oh. Invite me now. Let me come to your
Oh,
school.
no, you're welcome anytime, anytime. I even just finished the exam still, so
Oh,
please,
awesome.
you're welcome. Just let me know if you're coming.
No
No
problem.
problem. Yeah,
Awesome.
I'll treat
Awesome.
you. Yeah.
So today we're talking about emotional intelligence in the workplace. Hmm. So before we even go to all the places where we need emotional intelligence, especially at the workplace, I think we should first of all dissect what emotional intelligence is. So at the beginning, I was talking about a situation where you want to communicate something, but you don't know how to say it. Have you ever been in that kind of situation before? Where you want to talk,
Sorry,
there's something that is
the
eating
video
you.
was
You want to
breaking.
talk. Okay. So I was asking a question earlier that has someone ever been in a situation where you want to talk about something, but you don't know how to say it because emotions are flying, going wild. You don't want to hit the wrong, you don't want to strike the wrong chord, you don't want to say the wrong things,
Exactly.
you don't want you don't want to give the wrong impression, but you just have to get this out of your chest. The moment you sit down, so for me, my answer is the moment you sit down to process your thoughts and also try to put yourself in that person's shoes and see how best you can ask that question or bring about that communication so that that person can give you a pleasing answer. At that point, when you're considering how to say it and what to say, you are an emotionally intelligent person. So for me, I'll say emotional intelligence has to do with putting yourself in the shoes of other people, putting yourself in the shoes of other people, putting yourself in their emotions. So if this were to happen to me, how what kind of emotions will I spur up at that moment, and how would I handle the situation so much that everybody goes home happy, or at least better, right?
I've
Or at least better.
actually been like in situations where, you know, I so badly want to make my points known, and then I'm like, and then as the person is talking, I'm not even thinking of what the person is saying. I'm already picking the points that I want to hit on. I'll be like,
Exactly.
okay, this you said this, this is why. Just like,
Mm,
but then it actually took a lot for me to understand that the same way that I feel bad when people talk to me in a manner that is not pleasing to me and things like that. That's also how people feel
feel.
when you just speak to them without, even considering how they're feeling or considering the circumstances. So it actually, like you said, it takes a lot of emotional maturity to be able for
Yes.
you to be able to understand another person's point or understand how another person will feel in an instance. Don't just feel like this should go how it is, and then the other person just dump down everything that you think you should dump, without gauging the situation, looking at this person's countenance, trying to read the fine print and all of that. And then humans, sometimes we can be so selfish that we don't want to care about our neighbor or what we just all about me. I don't feel good. I don't like this. It should be done like
It doesn't
this.
work
This
for
is how I
you.
want this. Exactly. It doesn't work for me. Does it work for the other person too?
Mm-hmm. And this can be
It
whether you
doesn't
are
go
right
your
or wrong.
way.
Oh.
Yes.
This can be whether the other person is right or
Eh,
wrong. There are times you
You
genuinely know that this person is yarning dust. This person is
you
saying
get it
rubbish.
perfectly. You
But
get it
they want to prove a point.
perfectly.
At that point, you need to let them just have it. Then you can come back again and say, see, that thing you were saying, you were just saying nonsense. You were talking the nonsense. Because at that point when they are throwing banters, this one wants to prove that they are right. The other person too wants to prove that they are. Can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then it just leads to
Okay, so
it's not always a nice situation.
exactly true. So let's narrow it down to the workplace, right? To the workplace. Now, workplace, whether you've worked in a company or not, as long as you've done something with someone before, maybe a project, a collaboration, a teamwork, something that has to do with you working with other people. What's the best approach? What's the best approach in letting people know that they are wrong? Because a lot of people don't like to hear that they are wrong. And there are people like that, human beings in this century, that don't think that they can ever do anything wrong. I have met them. I'm still meeting them every single day of my life. I've worked with them. I have met them. So how?
Eh,
Okay.
I've not really, you
Hey.
know,
Hi
good evening,
everyone. Sorry I'm
Siva.
joining in
Welcome.
late.
No
So
problem.
sorry. All
No
right. All
problem.
right.
Okay, Shawa, you were answering me.
Okay, yes. I'm not really sure how to dish it out because I've not actually been, should I say, on the other end of it, where I have to be the one, to talk to someone about it. But then being on the receiving end, I can say it's not always fun. And more so,
Exactly.
especially if the person on the other end happens to be way older than you understand? There's this Nigerian, I'm an adult, you're still young, I know more things
I'm
than
your
you comes
senior.
to play. And you said you're
I'm your
a
auntie.
senior, this is not how you do shit. And then you're still trying to let this person understand that, okay, I might be young, but that doesn't mean that I'm inexperienced in this part. But then once it comes to that age difference, it just spoils the whole thing because that age, they would want to use that age as a factor over every other situation, even when it shouldn't be so. You employed me because you believe that I can deliver into so and so responsibilities. So why not trust that I can do it? But then you come and then you tell me that I'm not doing it how it's supposed to be, and it's you only do that when probably the person is inefficient or the person isn't giving you what you want, but you cannot come one day and be like, why are you doing things like this? It works for me, oh, but so long as it doesn't work for the other person, it's like this is not how you do things. I've been in this job for the last 20 years. How will you be doing things like this? Let me show you how it is done. I actually haven't been on the other end of it, so I might not know how it feels to give out these things, but that's just my experience so far.
Okay. I'm so happy that Fumi is here because Fumi is
Yeah.
a HR professional.
Yes.
So this is our topic.
She deals with things like this on a daily basis.
So I want to ask this question to Fumi now. This is Fumi's question. Nobody should talk say anything. No. She will answer it by say, how do we bridge the gap between working with how do you bridge the gap between being emotionally intelligent and working with a superior who is a micromanager?
All right.
How do you
Thank
bridge
you very
that gap,
much.
emotional intelligence and working with someone who's a micromanager?
All right. All right. Thank you so much. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes,
Yes, I can hear you.
yes, ma'am.
All right. All right. Okay. So as we know, emotional intelligence is very rampant in every workplace, whether big or small organizations. It happens. It happens every day and everywhere. All right. So let me narrow it down to the question now. So having such a boss, I think the first thing what I normally advise people is when you are employed into a new organization, the first thing to do, even for the first 1 month or first 2 months, is to study your boss.
Mm-hmm.
Study your boss as if you are studying a course, as if you are
True.
going to write an exam, because at the end of the day you really write an exam in place of appraisal. That's when the examination comes. So you really need to study your boss, study when to speak with your boss, when not to speak with your boss, study their mood swings, study their emotions, understand yourself before you can understand your boss's emotion. Because whether we like it or not, emotional intelligence is an asset in a workplace.
Yeah.
Whether we agree or not. Oh, I think Mora has logged out. Okay, so whether we like it or not, it's an asset. All right, we can't dispute that fact from it. So it happens every day, but our ability to first of all understand our own emotions and then try as much as possible to control how we react to
Yeah.
situations. But if you understand yourself first, that is when you can now
Mm,
study your boss and then interact or or build a relationship with your boss. And so I think
mm,
that's the best way to go about it, because you can't totally eradicate you can't totally eradicate conflicts rather in
true.
a workplace. It's bound to happen. It will happen, because both you and your boss grew up from a totally different background. You have different educational background. You have different, everything is different. You didn't school in the same place. You were not brought up from the same family. You are not from the same religion. Even if you are from the same religion, one person might be a
Exactly.
redeemer, the
Have
other person might
different.
be from Christ Embassy. So the denomination, everything will be different. So it's very important for you to first of all, like I said, understand yourself, and then be eager to learn, to improve on yourself. So if you've discovered XYZ issue with your boss, first of all, try and find out within yourself, okay, so how do I manage my boss? Because whether you like it or not, you need to keep your relationship with your boss healthy.
Right.
There is no
Very important.
secrets anywhere on how to manage your relationship with your boss other than to keep it healthy, because you need that boss to be able to work well, so to speak, because you spend 80% of your time at work
Well, true.
and maybe 20% at home with your family and friends. So it's a must. You must cultivate that habit, all right, to find joy and derive pleasure in working. Because if your boss frustrates you out of your job, you don't even know the next company you are going to go to. Maybe the boss will even be worse than the current one that
True.
you are facing.
True.
So I think the best thing is to nip the issue in the bud and then try to iron out whatever issues it is. Maturity comes into place, and understanding who you are first of all before you can understand your boss. I think that's the best way to go about it.
Very important. That's so true, because I found out that a lot of times in the workplace there are different kinds of humans. The ones that want you to worship, bow down, worship them. The ones that want you to suck up to them. The ones that are so like a desical in their job, but they want you to also join them to be like a desical. You know, there are some people that are excellent minded, and when they see that, they'll be like, "You're on the sumo. You just came. What's your problem? You need to relax. We have been here before you." There are also people like that. Then there are people that they don't even want to do anything. They just want to be there. You know, there are different kinds of people, and you have to, in order to work with them, you have to be able to manage them.
Mm-hmm.
Because whether we like it or not,
Mm-hmm.
there will always be people. We have not grown to the point where
Yes.
we now work with robots in our company. We still work with human beings. So really, emotional intelligence is a really important state of the mind that everybody needs to begin to work on. And I don't think it's a one-off thing. I think it's something that we keep learning every
It's
single day.
continuous.
I think the first time I came across that word was on radio. I used to listen to radio a lot. Yes, it was on radio. I used to listen to radio a lot. So this is not an advert. The Beat 99.9 FM and then Inspiration FM every single time. Then I didn't have a job. I just finished NYC, or I was waiting for NYC. Waiting for my results from school for NYC. I was always with the radio. That was the first time I heard that word. They interviewed, I don't remember who that speaker is. Oh yes, this man that has this white beard. What Larry Olushola. Larry
Oh.
Olushola, yes, the life coach. So he was the one that was talking to a radio, and he was mentioning. I'm like, emotional intelligence. Which one is that one again? I've heard intelligence. I've heard brilliance. I've never heard of emotional intelligence. So I went to read up the word from Google, and this is interesting. Funny enough, some people even practice it without even knowing that that's what it's called.
Knowing it.
Without even
Exactly.
knowing that that's what it's
Exactly.
called. So I'm like, this thing is something daily. I mean, talk to people respectfully, talk to people in a kind manner. That's even already emotional intelligence. So I was
Mm-hmm.
giving myself 4 points.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm even doing something I didn't even know that I'm doing something right. So it's really important because how we. Oh, I think Shewa is back on. Let me quickly accept.
Okay.
Because how we relate to people we're talking about workplace now. How we relate to people in the workplace determines if we are going to go up or remain where we are. Because
Mm-hmm.
whether we like it or not, when they want to promote somebody, is the colleagues that we call, and that girl, do you think she really deserves this promotion? I think a lot of companies do it. The boss will not go by themselves to go and do their own appraisal. They'll be asking your colleagues, hey, what do you think about? Yes, it has happened. A company I worked for before. And what do you think about this person? What do you think about my colleague? They had to call her. That what do they think about the HR? So the HR she had given birth, so she had to go on leave for
Your
a while.
maternity leave.
Yes, she had to go on leave for a while. So this my friend now doubled as both what she was doing, her role, and also the role of the HR. And at that point, the company was facing some kind of startup, or it was startup at that time. So they were facing some kind of financial issue. So they were really thinking of who they want to remove and who they want to keep. So when HR finally came back now from her leave, the boss now called this my friend. That I saw. What do you think? Do you think we really need to keep this? Because you're already doing the job that she's doing. Do you really think? They talked, and they then realized that there was no need to keep her in the company. And that was how they let her go. So this
Wow.
was not even that she had a bad character or anything. It was just the company experiencing some kind of issue. So they came to terms with an agreement with the lady and told her there's no point. We think you don't need to reason. They paid her and they remunerated her for that season. But now let's even imagine that it was as a result of something terrible. You see that's how that person would have just lost it. So it's really important that we learn to manage these things, and it's really a process. Shewa, before you came, we were talking about it as a process, emotional intelligence as a process. It's something we keep learning every day. Sometimes we will lose it. Sometimes we will totally lose it because we are humans, and there's a breaking point for every human. That then there's a point where you say, come, I beg, even Jesus too. Even Jesus too caused the victory.
I can't do it again.
That kind of thing. Yeah. So my next question is, when you're working with a difficult colleague, how do you manage such person? There's some people that they don't like to be objective. If they say no, even if it is Jesus that is coming down to say it is yes, they still want to say no. The answer is no. Some people that are so difficult, they are not objective. What they want is what they want. How do we work with those kind of? Because whether we like it or not, we meet them. We will meet them. We are meeting them. We have met them. So how do we deal with? Okay, let me ask Shewa. Shewa, do you have friends or classmates who are difficult, or project mates who have been really difficult? How did you? This is why you're smiling. I hope they are not on this live, but let them not come for you later. I'm not there.
Oh, funny how you said it, because it doesn't necessarily have to be classmates at all. It could be, lecturers,
No, lecturers
university
are not on
staff,
Instagram. They are not on
the
Instagram.
people
They're on
that
Facebook.
are you sure? And then these people have to, and these are people that you have to pass through. There's no how you would say you want to avoid your lecturers, or probably you want to submit your files, or like make payments, or one or two things, and then you meet these people. But me, what I just try to do as a person is that I know that okay, they tend to be difficult. If I enter the person's office, I already I played the blood of Jesus like 100 times. I say, God, please go, as I'm going to doing this person, please just let me help me. Let me just come and go. I don't want to, waste my time and all of those things. And as I'm entering, I first read the atmosphere of the room.
Reading the
How
room.
is the person? If the lecturer is smiling or if the staff is in a good mood, I go on to do what I want to do. But then if I find out that he's shouting at somebody that is there, I just say, good afternoon, sir, good afternoon. I just came to greet you, Neil. And then I turn back because I can't be I can't be on the receiving end of something that I did not do, and then I try again another day. But then if I find out that it's something that is really needed, I need to do today, I would wait, I would be patient. There is nothing I want to do. There's no way I'm going to. I really need this thing. So I'll be patient and wait for whoever to, finish what they have to do. And then when they don't look at me, they'll be like, you'll be sitting down here since what do you want? And I'll be like, okay, this and this and this is what I need. But like, is that what you need? They say, yes, sir, that please, I really need it. And do this. And that is it basically. So for me, I would say I try to take my time, I read the atmosphere, like patience for me answers. It helps a lot to be patient with these people. And then if it's my classmates, well, I don't, this was like
Your
my
G's.
guys now. So like, what are you doing? Just say one or two things, and I'm like, guy,
Behave yourself.
just there's the way you do it. Behave yourself, basically. And then we're classmates now, so there's no reason to, want to drag shoulders and raise shoulders
At the
and
end
all
of the day,
those
you still
things.
need
I'm
them.
like, what's the point? What are you doing it for? You still need them, right? So you just have to let things go. That's another thing. And then don't take anything that they do. Don't take it personally. I just feel like this person doesn't know better. That's why he's doing this thing. So just
Okay,
let it go.
okay. That's good. So what I get from you is that the main ingredients for emotional intelligence is patience. Really, because you even need patience to even
Yes.
think well. There's some situations that you don't even want to
Yes.
think, because if you think, you might not do what is in your mind to do at that point. Maybe you want to put them in their place. So you don't want to think, because if you think, Holy Spirit can even tell you, my
Exactly.
daughter, calm down. So you don't even want to think that, you just want to raise it up to that person. So patience is really, really,
And then if you decide to not be patient and just do
yes.
what is in your heart, you find out that it now becomes a back and forth kind of situation, because you are dishing out, the person who is dishing out, and then the whole situation becomes messy. And then you don't know how to deal with it later. Imagine you now turns out to be your course lecturer, or imagine now turns out to be university staff, and these people are like, these were very important people. You just
Mm.
can't do without them. And then they'll be like, okay, so now you sure you will come
Abby,
back to my office.
Abby,
You get that kind of
if you want to
this kind
graduate,
of just
my
avoid.
lecturers in school, then they will tell you, you will not graduate in this. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean
Exactly.
carry? You see where they
Yes, you know how those things
I
are.
can imagine. I
It's
can
what you
imagine.
believe.
So I want to
Yeah.
ask, and this question is to Fumi. I find out that even when some of us call ourselves emotionally intelligent, when it comes to outside of the workplace, say maybe like with our friends or with our family, or with people that are immediately close to us, it seems a bit difficult. Isn't it a bit difficult to practice emotional intelligence? So how do we navigate that? How do we know? Because I hear somebody say, at home I try, at home I shout, I do this, I do that. But at the office I try to, I try to avoid some certain. I'm like, So in your house, you want to misbehave, but at work you want to be calm because of your salary at the end of the month. So how do people bridge that gap? I know that our topic today is focused on the workplace, but after work we'll still go home. So
Of course.
how do we bridge that gap?
All right, thank you very much. So I believe, first of all, because of the level of relationship that you have with families and friends, that relationship is different from work relationship.
True.
So the way you interact with your families and friends is totally different from the way you handle people or manage people in the workplace. So I think the first things first is, um, so it depends on if the person in question here is maybe in a senior capacity or junior to you. in terms of age wise. So that age is also a factor. It's something we need to look at as well. Try as much as possible to set boundaries. Okay, so setting boundaries, knowing what triggers the negative reactions or actions that may happen between you and that family member or friend. Also, try as much as possible to be an active listener. Listen to whatever they are saying, digest it, and then that will determine how you would react. You think before you react. All right, so you don't react before you think. You think first before you react. And then, because what the way you react to that person would send a signal whether whether such relationship would continue or discontinue. So depending on the
And whether
situations
this person has sense or
surrounding,
not. Like the way you talk.
so that would determine a whole lot of things. Also, another thing I would advise is try as much as possible to identify the strengths and weaknesses of that person you are dealing with. So what is this person's strength? What is this person's weaknesses? So you can avoid such or eliminate it as much as possible. So it's possible for you to keep a very healthy relationship with your family member. There won't be any issues at all. It's possible. Very, very possible, as long as you consider all of these things that I listed out. Yes, you have to put them into consideration. All right, because you might be from the same father and mother. You might be, like I said earlier, you might grow up together and do everything together, and at the end of the day you find out that, oh, that relationship isn't working anymore after 10 years. There's this saying that you can be friends with someone from childhood, but you can't be friends forever for the next 7 years. Okay, because people tend to change.
Yes.
We tend to outgrow certain things. All right, so
20
I might
friends
not
cannot
find
play
you
for 20
very
years.
exactly. I might
Let's do that.
I might not find you interesting to, or might not have the same perspective about issues anymore. So you need to also acknowledge that there are different perspectives to way people think. And yes, I think that would definitely help in managing your relationships. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's good. Really good. Because I like that. I like the fact that you mentioned that our perspective to things grow. Because a lot of people are still holding on to this person was my classmate from crèche. You can clearly see that your values are not aligning, but you are still
Mm-mm.
being emotionally inclined. You don't want to let this person go because you're your friend from crèche. Yet their values are affecting you. You are clashing on so many principles. Nothing is really working out. So it's
Mm-hmm.
important that we weigh the kind of people that we allow into our inner circle in order for us to be able to practice this emotional intelligence with intelligence. Because a lot of people, they've they're out of that circle already. There is nothing you can really say to try to convince them. How they want to see you is how they want to see you. For example, I'll take an example
Mm-hmm.
from the Bible. Jesus, right? The Bible says that he could not do so many miracles in his own hometown. Why? Because they have seen him finish. Is it not the
Mm-hmm.
carpenter's son?
Mm-hmm.
That one that make my Joko. What's Joko Yoruba?
True.
That's
True.
Akpoti.
True.
That one, that one that did my kitchen zinc is the one I'll be praying for me to be healed. Who is that one? You know, they looked down on him. And what did Jesus do? He carried his kaya and went to another town.
Unless he
Exactly. He
went
to
to
where he
where
was
he was going to be
appreciated. He didn't stay
appreciated.
there and say, this is my father's house. It is here I must do this. It is here I must do that. He was wise enough to know that if I keep staying here, these people are not going to see me as the Messiah that was sent to them. So he had to leave. And when he left, they began to see that, true, this guy knows what he's doing. Though. He's teaching in the temple, he's healing the sick. And then they started to look after him or to look for him. So it's really important that we weigh the relationships. Exactly. Oh, see finish. Thank you, Joe. Say finish. It's not because they really hate you. I mean, they're coming. They can't just come to terms with the fact that you're no longer that person. Like you've moved on, like you've moved higher. So they can't come to that term like, yeah, you are now a this, you're now a that. Really? So that's also important. So the next thing I want to ask is the use of language. A lot of people don't know how to talk. It used to pay me. lot of people don't know how to talk. I was not opening their mouth, bruh. I'm like, you just don't think at all. There's some things that there are some questions you will not ordinarily just ask somebody, except they want to talk about
Hmm.
it. Especially personal questions, except they want to talk about it. Or let's even leave personal questions. The way some people respond with their words. Sometimes I ask, is it that you are doing this thing purposely, or you just really don't know how to talk? Yeah, so I don't know, Shewa, have you encountered any person like that? This girl knows Sabi talk as well.
I'm currently encountering someone
Okay.
like that, and then I just
True. So how are you handling it? Because
and then I've just I've just been leaving the person, and it's not something personal to me. It's like a group of people, and then we ought to do something, and this person comes and is like, all of you are adults. You should know what you're supposed to do. Are we supposed to do this? And then it's not her saying it, but then it's her typing it. And then I believe they're both the same thing, because you typing is the same thing as using your mouth. And then you're typing these things, and then you're saying that you don't know how to talk. Let me tell you, people, drag them. Like, something happens on the group chat, and like, drag them, go at them, leave their blah blah blah. Let's talk to them in this place. I remember, and I'm like, you are complaining that somebody else, it doesn't know how to talk, and then you, now
it's
that you're
like
trying to
two
address the
wrongs
situation,
trying to
you're
make it right.
even worse off. How does that make it right? And then in my mind, I'm like, if I should reply this person now, it's now be like as if, no, I'm also being unintelligent, right? So I just leave it. And something happened 2 days ago, and the person just typed something, and then I saw it, and I'm like, although it wasn't directed at me, I said, this is, and then the thing is just getting me angry, but then at the same time, I'm just leaving it, because I'm looking for the best way, to address this thing. I'm still thinking to like come up with a solution on how to address this person and this situation. I'd rather not talk, because I don't want to, be caught in the same situation that this person is in. Because you can't say that you are trying to do something better, and then you're not even being more intelligent than who was doing it before. That doesn't make any sense. And then you say that you're talking to adults. You said she said there's no small child here. All of you are adults. People should behave like adults. How you know that? And I'm like, this is just childish talk, because even as an adult, you need to know how to, relate with other people. We're not your boss boys. We're not your errand persons. I'm not even your family member. Do you understand? We just happen to be bound by some common interests. So you have to like country plays a whole lot of roles. And then you find out that even there are other people that will just, like someone else will just send sticker. Like when the person types it, I was like, all this funny sticker of, And I thought I was actually the only one that feels this way. And the person that the thing was directed at didn't even say anything. So I was like, oh well, it's not my fight to fight. So why should I fight another person's fight that is not willing to fight? And I just let the situation slide, right? So, but I know that if it would have been directed at me, I definitely would have sat down and then thought for hours on how best to reply this person, because you don't treat people that way. You can't expect better from people and then give people less than what they deserve to be given. It
Yes.
doesn't work that way. It's a two-way thing,
True. That's really important.
basically.
Really important, because I found out that a lot of times what you want to say was speaking in your head or in your mind at that time. If you say it, you can throw dynamite, bomb. So the best time is to just try to process your
Like,
emotions. I know that it's really difficult, especially when that person hurts you. It's really, really difficult for you to be able to process your emotions at that time so that you can say something right. Because as the person is bringing you to, you want to give that person that.
yes,
Because it's not really
yes.
like you don't know how
Your
to
mind will just be
talk
blank.
properly.
You're like, what do we?
So as the person is bringing you, you want to.
True,
So,
true, true. I actually watched
and I
like,
find out again that when somebody is ruthless with their words with you, if you want to reply them in that same manner, at the end of the day, you become the one who is going to be blamed. As that's not ever happened to you, especially if you're a
Yes.
Christian.
Yes.
Especially if you're a Christian,
Yeah.
it backfires. I'm like, God, this is not
Oh
fair.
my
This person was the
God.
one that annoyed me. Why do I have to be the one to bear the brunt?
Oh. Oh wow, this like you have said it all, honestly. Because like this situation that I'm talking about currently, I don't want to be like I don't want to be caught in this web, in this trap because they know who I am, they know what I stand for, and then if I now come and I treat them the same way that they are treating me and other persons, it will be like but Shay used to go to church. Shay used to,
Yeah, the one
all
that's
those kind
carrying
of
Jesus in their
things.
head.
And then I'm like, oh,
Okay, so they expect you to be patient, but they don't want to be patient. So it's like Jesus is to share patience to Christian. This is shared in sachets.
I, I don't, I'll just leave the whole thing. Like there was a movie I watched, a Korean movie I watched as a fan, and then something I learned was, when you want to, in the movie, I found out that someone was advising the other person that before you react, count to 10 in your brain, you know, count to 10 in your brain, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then sometimes you might even say that it's not even worth it at all. And sometimes I tried it sometimes, and then I found out that I was able to, calm my thoughts down and be able to answer in a rational manner. That, it really helped me a lot. Sometimes I just overlook, and then if I feel that I should necessarily reply, because I feel that also if they're always dishing these things out and then I'm always overlooking, it tells them that they should continue, that this person can take it, you can do this person anyhow and expect this person not to retaliate, so to say. So just count 1 to 10 in my head and then I'll see, is this person
Right.
worth it? Is this person not worth it? So sometimes the person can be going on and on and on in the person's mind. And all me I'm just thinking of is, should I answer this person? Should I not answer this person? Is this person what's my
Exactly.
extra calories that I'm going to burn speaking and things like that? And then I found out that well, this person is not worth it. I just, I leave you until you meet somebody that is your size, that will be able to give you back how you expect to be treated. But then I just overlook things, and then sometimes it might not always be healthy because you being on the receiving end, you tend to feel off, and you tend to have this feeling, this
True. Are you there? Showers internet has gone off.
Jesse,
Okay, it's breaking though.
Jesse. Ooh,
Can you hear me?
it's our Nigerian network.
I lost you
Yes,
for a bit.
I hear you now.
Are you back now? Can you hear me? Okay, okay, okay. So
Yes,
what was the
yes,
last thing you
I
said?
can
I
hear
didn't
you.
hear that.
Okay, so I was saying that at the end of the day, if someone is on the receiving end, of when someone talks anyhow, is being disrespectful, not caring about the other person's emotions, you that is on the receiving end, you tend to feel
Yes,
blue. You don't know how best to process these things, and then you don't want to retaliate, because if you retaliate, it will be like
yes.
a vicious cycle, and then you just don't know how best to address the situation to remove the hurt and the ache that you might be feeling in your heart. You understand? So that's also something about the emotional intelligence. If the two people aren't both intelligent, you find out that one person is on the receiving end and may not know how best to
Manage
address
situation.
the situation, and turns out to, yes, and turns out to be receiving a whole, bag of shit that you don't know what to do with.
That's true. Really important. A lot of times we really don't know how to act, and
Yeah.
it is born. Most times it's born out of the way we have watched the people we grew up with, either guardians or parents, resolve conflicts in the home. So if you're the type that grew up in a home where nobody had the nobody had the right to talk. Once one parent has talked, like everybody else should shut up, irrespective of your feelings. Yes, you find it hard when somebody hurts you. Find it hard to talk to that person to say this is what you did. Except you have
Yes,
trained your mind to the level to
yes,
say
yes.
that no matter what happens, if somebody hurts me, I'll be able to tell them this is what you did. And I think another thing that scares people
Mhm.
is the fact that some conversations can be difficult. Have you ever wanted to communicate, but the way your heart is squeezing, your lungs, your intestine, you only want to talk, oh. As in, you just want to have this conversation. This person hurts you, so you want to have the conversation. But the way headache, you'll be
Ah,
sweating,
oh,
is a lot.
because it could take a whole lot of, maturity to be able to have that conversation. And then you just feel like you're not ready for it. And the moment like the opportunity passes, you start to
Yes, it comes
regret.
with a
You're
regret.
like,
True.
why
Why
didn't
didn't
I
I
do
do
this?
it?
Why didn't I just go ahead
True.
and
True. So I think it's
exactly,
important that we let people know that when it comes to being emotionally intelligent, it's going to take a lot from you. So don't expect it to be an easy thing, and don't say because it's not easy then you won't do it. I mean, nobody ever became successful by doing something easy. So if you are going to be an
of course.
emotionally intelligent person, you must be ready to have difficult conversations that will twist your intestine. But you have them anyway. And the funny thing is that after you've had that conversation, you become free. Your mind is light. You're not thinking anything again because you know you've said your mind.
Mm,
Because it has a lot to do with our mind, our thinking at that point. I mean, you want to have this conversation, you can't concentrate at work, you can't do anything. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. So what we should learn from for those of us who are watching this live, being an emotionally intelligent person is not a walk in the park. It's not a destination, it's a process. You get better at it every single day, whether at work, with your friends, family, relationships with people, business partners. Every day you get better at it. Is it going to be easy? No. There are times where you will have to communicate in a very difficult manner. There are times emotions will run, tension will be high, everyone will be hot, to be sweating. Still have that conversation anyway. And at the end of the day, it always pays off. And the second, let's not forget, one of the ingredients again for being an emotionally intelligent person is patience. We need to be patient. And I'm talking to myself, Jessica Maria. Have you heard? Be patient. Because I know myself. They don't share patience, give me. I'm
yes.
getting better every single day, and I'm praying for God's grace to help me, because
Oh, God will give us the
yes,
grace
every
that we
single day,
need.
Lord, patience, especially if you live in Lagos, Nigeria, Lord, patience. Yes, because you come out sanctified from your house, you prayed, you come out
Oh,
sanctified Christian, holy. You get to the bus stop, one
oh,
conductor, one driver
oh.
is waiting to annoy you.
You don't even have to wait till you get to the bus stop save. As you're walking down on the road, somebody just is walking faster
Just
and
hit
then the
you.
person
That
will
kind of
just
thing has
hit
happened to
you.
me
And
at
you look up like,
CMS. Early in the morning, I was going on my own to work. This guy just hit me from there. I turned back. He was even doing like, so what do you want to do? I say, eh. So he said that he sent to me this early morning. It's a
oh,
lot.
it's so
It's a
sad.
lot. I pray that God will give us grace.
Yes, it's a lot.
Let's just
It's
keep
a lot.
asking grace from Him. That
Amen.
I know that
Amen.
we may not have
Amen.
a lot of I mean, there are mixed religions here, Christian, Muslim, whatever it is that you believe in. Ask God for patience because you need it if you are going to be an emotionally intelligent person. This has been a very
Yeah.
productive conversation. I'm so happy to have been here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I want to say
Okay.
something. And then I think another thing with emotional intelligence is if you find out that perhaps you have been either on the giving or the receiving end, and then just you need to have the courage to be able to go back to that person, and then either
Yeah.
apologize or rehave, or that you think you need to rehave that conversation, be it your boss, your friend, and then you can be like, since I didn't say something well, or I know that what I said would have hurt you, apologize. Don't
Mm-hmm.
think that you're too big to not want to apologize for something that you know that you have done wrong, and then if you're on the receiving end, you need to have the courage to speak up to the person that I'm sorry, I didn't like how you spoke to me earlier. It made me feel this and this and this and this, and then I think you could have spoken to me in this and this manner moving
Mm-hmm.
forward. It helps both the
Yeah.
person to learn, and then it also helps you
Yeah.
as well, because all these things that happen, they have the way of staying in your brain, and then in the middle of the night, sometimes, like me, like I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, I should
True.
have said this thing at so time, that kind of a
True.
thing.
Very true.
That's
Very true. Very,
it.
very true. Very
Yeah.
important. So when we tell them this is the problem, let's also leave them with a solution. I don't like the way you spoke to me about this. I would like
Yeah.
that moving forward, we do X, because some people genuinely they're not really just have sense like that. It's just the truth.
Yeah, so
We
people
just need to
don't
help them.
actually know. And
These
then
are
you
not
that you
wise.
know
Let's be
better, you
helping
should
them.
be able to, yes, yes, so that everybody too can be wise. The wisdom can,
Of course,
can
and then the
spread.
world can be a better place, right?
Definitely, that's
Yes,
all we strive
yes. This
for.
has been so awesome. I'm so glad to have been here. I've learned a lot. Thank you so much, Shewa. And thank you to our
So I can,
Fumi has left already. I guess it's our network. Thank you everyone that joined. Till we come again
yeah,
next week, Saturday. Have an emotionally intelligent week. That makes sense.
week.
Weekend. Okay.
Yes, it
Sounds
does.
good. All right. Thank you,
Yes.
Shewa. Bye. Have a great evening.
Thank you,
Bye.
Jesse. Bye. You too.